Hey there, everyone. So we're going to cover all the forms, scripts, working templates in this video. Um, you will have gotten this already by now to your email, so it should be in your email. So these are basically forms and templates and guides and everything you need inside your business in relation to finding and hiring staff, training staff, your policies, procedures, employee handbook, safety manuals, you name it. So let's just go through it just real quick. So you've got your interview process checklists and the questions you should be asking them, your bid estimate template. So if you are bidding on bigger jobs or commercial jobs, this is a template where you can go in and enter all the details and give it to your client, and it's highly professional. Makes you look very organized and makes you look like a professional organization that should be asking for premium prices to do your service. All your employee stuff in terms of emergency contact, return to work, team leader information, client incident, you know, everything you need is in here. Everything you can think of is in here in order of managing your employees effectively and having a real system in place to do that, so that you are nurturing your staff and turning them into, uh, you know, um, long-term committed employees instead of, just here's a job, here's cleaning stuff away, you get going. There's a process here with all these forms. So if you print out all these forms and then put them into a file folder in your office and label that file folder based upon that process. So if it's just placing an ad, which we give you ads to place in here, there's ads in here for you to place, and then there's the phone interview process, right? And then the first interview process, and then the working interview process. So have that all in one packet, right? And then you move on to the training element. So all the forms that they need to sign before they start working are in here so that you're covered. You have no liability, and they know that they're working for a real company and they take that seriously, and they know there's a process, there's a system in place, right? 30-day probation information, 90-day follow-up, performance review, right? After the first 2 weeks, you're doing a performance review with them and you've got a sheet and you fill it out. You're managing your staff in a way that's going to turn them into career-oriented people instead of just somebody looking for a job. Right? So there's a pile, there's 50 forms in here, including your employee handbook and your your W-4s, your I-9s. There's two different phone interviews. So whichever one you're comfortable with. Background authorization, so you get them to sign this, right? And then you do a background check on them. Independent contractor agreements. A form that walks you through the interview process. So, explains to you how to interview and what to do. You've got the scripts up there and the checklists. How to hire staff, like how you should be looking for staff, what you should be looking for, how to set up your hiring process. Walks you through step by step. There's even an invoice in here. If you want to send cleaning invoices, you just put your logo on it and your company information and person your billings information, away you go. Some people use software for that, obviously, but this is for people a little more old school. Residential quote forms. There's some sales strategy in here. How to, a sales script so that you can move from selling to educating and getting people to say yes all the time, right? There is a pile. So you want to print all this stuff off, put it into the relevant folders, and then put it into your system, right? So we don't have a checklist for this module because this is the checklist, right? You print all this stuff off, you put it in the relevant folders for the different steps in that process. So, your advertising and interview process, your hiring and training process, and then your ongoing follow-up process with them, like 90 days, right? You're doing a review on them every Every 90 days, do a review with your staff and fill it out. Um, written warnings if there's anything like that. You're keeping documentation on all this stuff. So, you're operating as a proper business. And what this does is it reduces the headaches and liability for you, right? Because you're set up. All the information they need, key and alarm codes, right? Emergency contact, policies and procedures. All this stuff is in here to help you set up your business and get going effectively. You can just imagine the time it would take to create all this stuff. Just the employee handbook alone would take you months. There's thousands of dollars worth of value in forms in here that you need, and they're all ready to go. If you want to put your logo on them, you can, and you're all ready to rock. But it's no good having these forms if you're not going to put them into place. And this is part of creating structure for your business. You need structure in your business if you want to grow and scale significantly, right? To multiple six figures, to push to 500,000, or for some of you even bigger, right? To push to $1 million. You need this structure in place. So if you create these folders and you have the forms in there, follow that process, right? Follow this exact process every time. Create a process that's about success, that on the other side of it, there's a lot of success for you. So it's going to take you some time to go through these, I'm sure. Some of them really quickly because, you'll take a look at it, like the key and alarm code, boom, you look at it, you know what that is, right? So that's your ongoing stuff that you have for your staff, that you're setting your staff up for success here. And you're creating a funnel and a filter that's going to allow you to bring the best candidates at the other side. Look at all this stuff. There's phone interview questions, the questions you should be asking in your interviews. It's all in here. So get these printed out, get them set up in the different folders for the different steps in that process. So obviously the advertising interview process, and then the training process, right? And then the ongoing management of your staff process. So you're doing your reviews and 90-day follow-ups with them. That type of communication is going to make you a lot more effective as an employer, and you're going to understand what type of employee you have, right? So I hope you get this all done, taken care of. It's going to take you some time. Some people will get this done the same day. Some people will take a few weeks. I'd encourage you to jump on it right away. If you've got downtime, you're sitting around, just get this done, get this banged off, because it's creating the type of structure in your business that you need immediately.